Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
He is my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews or any of our interviews. Tonight, we have a special guest. You might have saw him last week for Married at First Sight Unmatchables. We have Xavius Robinson on. How you doing, Xavius?
I am doing well. Thank you all so much for having me tonight.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, man. Yeah, I think everybody was excited to see Married at First Sight Unmatchables. I think everybody was excited. I think it had a great debut, especially after watching 2 hours of Married at First Sight. Then they come back and watching the Unmatchables. You know, I really was. I was like, okay, I'm excited because, you know, after 2 hours of Married at First Sight, you're like, I don't know, I'm about to get ready to go to bed. But because Unmatchables came on and was something new, we decided to sit there and watch it. And we thought the very first episode was a success. So the first question I want to ask you is, who is Xavius Robinson?
Who is Xavius Robinson? You know, that is that's a hard question. Xavius is a Southern gentleman. He is crazy enough. I speak in third person a lot, so this is fun. He is a Southern gentleman. He's somebody who is excited about life, who does not live life within a box, but is always looking for the next adventure. Loves family. I absolutely love and adore my family, but most importantly, I love love. I love what love represents. I love what it stands for, and excited always about the possibility of finding love. Always excited about that possibility. So, and being on TV, that was a different experience. I don't know if I saw that in my future, but that was something. So.
That's wonderful. So, you know, you talk about being on TV. What made you want to go to Married at First Sight in the first place, or even sign up for that?
Bored. being bored and just tired of the traditional dating scene. You know, I grew up in a very traditional home where I was raised by my grandparents. And so I grew up knowing that when you date, you marry. So
Right.
With every potential partner, every potential date, as in like, this is somebody that you could potentially end up with. And so I was like, you know what? This dating thing ain't really working out. Let's turn to some people that can really figure this thing out, and we go from there. And you know, let me say, I didn't take it seriously because I was like, oh, I'm not going to make it on TV. Like, you know, but it's cool. They reviewed the application. But when I got the call from LA, it was like, oh, this is serious. Like, y'all are serious. You really want the kid. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what you want to do. And then just, you know, it took off from there, man. It took off faster than I really could tell you. Like, it just seemed like things just began to happen. And next thing I know, we were getting screenshots from friends and relatives like, hey, did you see this commercial that you're in? And it's like, what commercial? What are you talking about?
Oh, wow.
Very, very, very interesting. So much fun. But just simply being bored, flipping through Lifetime. And here we have it. I'm actually on Lifetime now.
Yeah. So you go on there. You said you were being, you know, out of boredom. Mm-hmm. And really didn't expect to get picked. And they didn't pick you for the actual show, mm-hmm. but they picked you for Unmatchable. So did you kind of feel like, oh, you don't want me for Married at First Sight, but you want to do me for this one? Or was it just like you said, just excited to be picked, period?
You know, it was just an honor to be picked. You know, you don't ever take any opportunity for granted. And to still be able to meet with the experts, Dr. Viviana and Pastor Cal, who are phenomenal individuals and walk so profoundly in their gifts and their and what they do, to be able to have them to spend time with me to help me become a better matchable person in an unmatchable place was really profound for me, man. And I was very honored and humbled. So I was like, you know, I am the Marian type, but you know, we'll take this unmatchable title for a little while. We can roll with it. That's cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I guess at first you can kind of be like, unmatchable. Me?
Yeah,
I'm a catch. Are you kidding?
Yeah, you take your face up at it. And even sitting watching the show, I'm like, all right, do I get like a certificate of completion or something? Like, how does this work? How does this work? Do I get like I graduated Dr. Viviana and Pastor Cal's School of Unmatchable to Matchable. So,
Yes, I need something to put on my wall so when
yeah,
people look, I'm qualified. I'm trying to tell you, I'm matchable now.
absolutely.
In case
I
you
got to
didn't
take this
know,
home to my
I'm
mama.
matchable.
I got a T-shirt that say, "You know what, I'm matchable," right?
Yeah.
You know,
Nah, I was like, I'm gonna create a T-shirt that says "As seen on TV, now matchable."
Yes. Hey,
there you go.
that'll sell.
Why did you think the experts could help you out? You know, when you saw the expert, when you talked about a few minutes ago, Dr. Viviana and Pastor Cal, you know, what did you think they could help you out with? And what did they help you out with?
One of my biggest things was just the physique, seeing things and not really taking the time to have a conversation. And a lot of times I realize now that in life, something great could be standing right in front of you, but if you don't open your mouth and have a conversation, then you'll miss every opportunity that could just simply be right there. And so I was very grateful to Dr. Viviana for just kind of bringing it home. Won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but for those of you all that have, there are a couple of scenes where, it is made very real. And a lot of people think, TV's for show. No, this is real. These are real time reactions that you are seeing. And so, even Pastor Cal taking me out of my comfort zone and truly taking me out of my comfort zone and having me to trust him, because it was going to be some unholy words with the pastor, but I'm very grateful, and I learned a lot about me, about Xavius, and letting that guard down and learning that it's okay to go with the flow, and that sometimes the best part of life is going with the flow. So it was very, very, very interesting. I won't say that it didn't come without its personal challenges, where you just kind of have to breathe and take it all in, like, this is for your good. This is going to be okay. I am not in harm's danger. But once you get to that place where you're like, all right, this is good. We're good. I see what you're trying to tell me. I got it. Then we can roll from there. So,
especially with Pastor Cal's driving, right?
Oh man, please listen. Some people should not be allowed to have fast vehicles. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I saw you in the seat, bro. You was in there like, hold on for a minute.
And it's one thing to be moving fast and you see where you're going, but when you got a blindfold on, it's like, I don't even know where we're going, and you are balling.
Yeah,
I was praying, I was crying, I was cussing, it was like a melting pot of everything at one time, and for us to finally get to the place that I needed to be at. And I was like, you know what? All right, I see what you did there. Pastors, they always have to give these extravagant examples, but we arrived safely. And I made it back home safely, so I didn't care about anything else. I was good.
And they didn't give you the PC special. They didn't give you the Pastor Cal special. Thank God.
Listen, I mean, I'm almost close. Close.
See, I'm about to say you got the cut now.
Yeah, I'm almost close. But nah, when he said that, man, I could have cried then. I was like, my hair? I mean, you already took me out of my home, but my hair? There are some places that you don't touch and bother a man about. His hair, right. His hair. If you are a man and you still have the luxury of having your hair, you don't want anybody to come along and tell you, like, listen, bro, I'm gonna have to take that from you. No, sir.
Nah.
Hey, before we get into the rest of the show, what did you learn at this point? Before we get in, after you had the interaction with Pastor Cal, and what were you learning? What did you learn about yourself before you even went out on your blind date?
I learned that sometimes I am too critical. I have a tendency to be too critical, and I tend to judge a book by its cover. And sometimes that book has a wealth of knowledge that you have not even tapped into. And I'm grateful that I had to have this experience, because even now I'm able to have more conversations. It's no secret. I love to talk, but sometimes I get shy when something doesn't always look like what I think it should.
Mm-hmm.
So having those conversations and giving people an opportunity to express themselves, knowing that our hearts may need to have a genuine interaction before we ever have a physical one, has been really, really crucial and important. And it's probably one of the biggest lessons that I can walk away with.
You know, when you said that, it just made me think, and, you know, we joked about it before we came on, we churchy folks, but it made me think about, you know, the scripture says that man looks on the outward, but God looks at the heart.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you really can, in life, we have to take some time to get past the outward of a person and really find out what's on the inside, because there are some beautiful, I mean, obviously, especially when it comes to matching, you know, we all have our preferences, you know, but if you could get outside of that comfort zone and be like, you know what, this is a really cool person, you know, we could be friends, or it might go to something else. Like, I mean, my husband wasn't my type.
Yeah, I'm not 6'3", dog.
Hey, listen,
I'm not 6'3".
but she's happily married, so that's all that matters.
Hello.
That's all that. That's
Hello.
That's all that matters. That's all I tell her.
Yeah, I had to come down. I said, well, we can't do 6'3". You know, I'll take 5'9". You know, 5'9" will work. It's not completely, like, it's not short.
No, it's not short, but you know.
And we had a lot. But besides, it was just, you know, other than that, you know, obviously, you know, he had to be attracted to my eyes. And you, like you said, once you get to know each other, we had a lot in common. You know, you get on that, because so it's not just about the height. So
no, it's not.
Don't feel bad. 20 years later, it's okay.
I'm not feeling bad.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Not feeling bad at all. You know, so you know, you've been dating. You was dating before. So what type of people were you dating before you came on the show?
Ooh.
That didn't get you to the point where, you know what, I want to be married or I want to be matched up.
You know, previous dating experiences were they started off very much so from a physical aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't so much taking the time to have conversations that were important. Things that are important to me are family. You know, what is the family dynamic like? Where are you with your ability to communicate? You know, do you like certain things? Are you open to trying certain things? I'm not open to trying certain things. So it's more so like, hey, you look good, I look good. We would look great together on a Christmas card. Let's go for it. And
Oh, wow.
And it would end in complete disaster before we even got to Thanksgiving. So there was no point in having a Christmas card.
Right.
You know, so having had those experiences prior to the show, and realizing like something's not working. You know, I've been in a failed engagement, so
Wow.
there were a lot of things that I could blame on somebody else, but there were a lot of things about Xavius that Xavius needed to really dig deep into and say, all right, okay, buddy, these are things that are not healthy. These are not conducive to a man who is looking for a woman, who is looking for, I don't like to say someone to go 50-50 with. This is not conducive to somebody who is looking to go 100-100 with, you know,
Right.
kind of either be all in or we're all out. You know, and so going into the show, needing these resources and needing these tools, and having them right there at your disposal, you know, like I said, having Dr. Viviana, who was just flat out like, listen, there is no room for a woman here in your life. What are you doing? And having Pastor Cal be like, listen, you cannot always be in control. They're hard pills to swallow, but they're necessary. They're necessary vitamins that continue to build the emotional immune system. And so, you know, it was very, very, very much so treasured time. My time with the experts, very much so treasured.
You know, you had something that, you know, I thought was very interesting and something that, you know, young men or men could take up, that you were meticulous about your dress and you were meticulous about being on time. You were meticulous about being where you're at. And to me, I think, you know, those things are characteristics that are valuable in today's society. Those characteristics, you know, making sure that you look nice before you walk out, or making sure that you're on time, whether it's for a job, whether it's for a meeting, whether it's for a date. I think those characteristics are characteristics that were great. I saw some people online talking about, man, being on time. I say, but that's the way you was raised. You can just tell that you was raised that way, to be on time, and make sure your clothes are picked out night before you go to school, and make sure you moisturize, put lotion on board before you go out this house. If something happened to you, I need to make sure that you greased up. So whatever case may be, you could tell those attributes have been put into that had been put into you. Just speak on that a little bit about being on time, because there was a scene later on that we saw when the young lady came to the bar and y'all met up, and she wasn't on time.
You're late.
You're late.
You're late.
I'm hoping and praying that does not become a meme, because I am very, 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 very to the T when it comes down to being on time. And I look at time as being something that I cannot get back. I can regain my money. I can regain my possessions, but two things I cannot get back is my time and my health. And so I have to be very strategic with what I do to my body and what I do with my time. And so if I can't get my time back, I expect you to have enough respect for me to respect the fact that I'm offering you my time. And the same thing, when I'm dating, I hate being late. I was late to a date, and it ate my soul alive. And I tried to come up with every excuse that I could. And my date tells me, she says, I don't want to hear your excuses. You're late. And I had to own it, because I am Mr. Be on time. And the next date that we had, I showed up on time because I was not, I have a standard, and this is what I hold myself to. And even with grooming, I grew up, like I said, raised by my grandparents. My parents had me when they were in college. So my mom went back to school. My dad entered the workforce. And so when you grow up with old people are going to take the time to clean everything.
Yeah.
So I grew up just being, the clean kid. There was no such thing as you weren't going to take a bath, or you weren't going to brush your teeth or brush your hair. Everything has a place. And I grew up with the same notion that you don't know when you're going to the hospital. Put on some clean.
That's right.
Don't be the one that the nurses are like, this boy is ashy from the neck down. And I have taken that in my life, and I have made that something that I stand by. I am very regimented in keeping myself clean, because that's what I look forward to. I look forward to being in a clean environment when I can, when it's permissible. But laying out my clothes, man. I mean, even tonight, I had to make sure that my t-shirt wasn't wrinkled. I had to make sure, what I was wearing to work tomorrow was already laid out and prepared. And so, very meticulous, man. Details are important.
Yes.
I'll say it like that. Details are very important. And my God, even picking out the cologne that you're going to wear for the day, you got to know what kind of day you're walking into and where you're going and what you plan to do when you get there. So I'm very, very, very meticulous about every little small thing. Even going to the airport, my bags have to be the right size. I got to have the clothes in one bag.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I'm very much so. My carry-on bag is organized with my laptop, my iPad, my notebook. I don't play those games. I like to know where things are, because I would get scramble-minded, and then I'd be like, okay, what do I do with this? What do I do with that? Nope, everything has a place. Let it stay in its place and be there.
Xavius. Now, I wanna know, you had after this experience on Unmatchables, you gotta relax a little bit though. So tell me, you put your toothbrush in a different slot in the suitcase now.
You know what? I won't even lie to you. We watched the show. We watched the show when it premiered Wednesday night. And even as the show was going on during commercial breaks, I'm like, all right, y'all need to get this trash up. I had a small watch party. It's like, I need to get this trash up. I don't know whose cup this is, but it needs to be put up. Like, this place is a mess. Like, my anxiety is rising. So I'm going to start putting people out. Like the teacher. And I was like, all right, you don't know how to clean up behind yourself, go home. But no, I try to I try to be relaxed when I can, and I'm learning that it's okay if your toothpaste does not go back in the same place that it was in, or
Yeah.
if there are a couple of crumbs that are lingering on the bed, not on the bed, but on the seat, or things like that. It's okay if it don't get brushed off in that moment, but just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride.
That's right.
Definitely.
That's right.
So you meet up with Alicia. Y'all meet up at y'all rest
Ashley.
Ashley met with Ashley. So met with Ashley, and y'all was at the bar, and you seemed like you were having a good time. What did you think? Your honest thoughts when she pulled the mouth out of the box, out of her purse. See, I saw the face, but we didn't see her. Yeah, I need your honest thoughts when you saw the lips.
There was a lot to be said in that moment. There was a lot to be said. I had so many questions. I just wanted to know why, how, for what. And Ashley, she is such a sweet woman. She is such a sweet woman. And I was very perplexed that we had made it this far, and then it's like boom. I forgot that she was late because I was so thrown off by like this mouthpiece, and I was like, okay. I don't know what's going on here. So I'm at this point, I don't know how many people remember the show Candid Camera, but I'm like, am I on Candid Camera? Like, all right, joke's over. All right, come on, let me know it's over now. And she pulls it out, and then she like holds it, and I'm like, WTH, like, what is this? What's going on? Yeah. That will forever go down in life. Yeah, no, seriously. When you're playing the game, you ever pulled a kissing doll out of your purse on a first? Yeah.
And I guess after she pulled that out, how could you not determine, like, you know what, I'm gonna help you out, so you ain't got to go kiss this thing?
You know what? At that point, I became self-conscious because I'm like, oh wow, she's been practicing with the mouth that doesn't move. So I don't really know, like, how's this? I don't know. I don't really know what to say or to think at this point, because how is she gonna respond to this? This is a lot. Like, I'm having anxiety for Ashley at this point. I'm like, all right, Ashley, like, are you ready for this? Because I don't know if I'm gonna live up to Magic Mouth's expectations here. I'm doing a breath check on myself. After the first drink, I'm like, all right, you're gonna get a little bit of this, whatever this is we're drinking, because I don't know.
So with that being said, and we got a question: was there a second date? And then if there was a second date, was there a third date?
We enjoyed our blind date. We thoroughly enjoyed our blind date, and we did go out again. And then if there is another story to tell, then Lifetime will have to tell it.
Oh, okay.
We'll leave it right. We'll leave it right. We'll leave it right there.
Okay. No spoilers here, y'all.
No spoilers. We have a code, a pact that we would say, and it's no spoilers, no alerts.
No, look, right. I didn't expect you to spoil anything, but you did very well. I try every once in a while. You did very well. We're gonna leave it right there. We're gonna move on. After Unmatchables, you've been on. You been on TV, and you enjoy. So you had a watch party, enjoying seeing yourself on Lifetime. How has life changed? Has it changed any for you?
Somebody actually called to my job.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Somebody called to my job. And they were so encouraging, so kind. Of course, social media has its role in our society, and if you allow it, it can either make you or break you. And so we choose to live in a mentally healthy place. So life has definitely been grand. Life is, for me, it's been beautiful. I am so appreciative of all the kind words that people continue to share. I recently just buried an aunt on Saturday.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And so in sharing in her life and celebrating her life, so many people were still so kind, to send their well wishes in that. And so, I'm very appreciative of this newfound fame that is still being managed and trying to navigate. But life has been great. Life has been great. It's been a beautiful opportunity to share the screen with such a unique and beautiful individual like Ashley. And to the entire team, they were just phenomenal. And to all of my co-stars, you guys are in for a treat because these guys are just some beautifully crazy, interesting, weird, but somehow still attractive people that are also in search of love.
Yeah.
And so you got to keep watching. You got to watch it
Yes.
all the way through because you haven't seen the best of Unmatchables yet. I mean, me and Ashley, we did our thing. We the creme de la creme, but
Yeah.
It's always good to start it off. It's always good to start.
They always they say the best for last, but really the first is always going to set the tone. So
Yeah.
Yes.
it's been great. It's been great. So many new friends, so many people following me on social media, and so trying to manage and get back to everybody and still realize like, hey, I made it on TV, but I didn't make it far enough to where I can live off of this. So y'all keep
Right.
but it's been great.
You got people asking, let me hold something. Let me hold something. Let me
Yeah,
hold something.
no, I did. I got a call the next day, and they were like, "Hey, nephew, I seen you on TV, man. Let me get a little something." And it's like,
That was just last night. I mean,
yeah, like can the check clear first. Just
Oh man, and I know you got to be careful. Like you said, people going into your DMs and slipping things in DMs and stuff like that. We talked a little early before we got online. You're doing other ventures and you're doing different things. Tell us a little bit about your podcast that you have and why you started it.
Yeah, so I run a podcast, and it's entitled Xavius Corner. And Xavius Corner is actually a year old, and it started in the middle of the pandemic, or at the beginning of the pandemic. And in late 2019, around about August, I was diagnosed with anxiety and severe depression. And so I didn't really understand. I didn't really know what that meant. All I knew is that I had stigmas that I'm now walking with, and I got to try to figure this out. And so, of course, the beginning of the pandemic is hard on everybody. We're all locked down in the house with truly nothing to do, no place to go. And I just hopped on Facebook Live one day, and I was like, I want to talk to my friends and family that may not, want to come forth and say, hey, I have severe anxiety. Hey, I suffer with very high depression. And so I just kind of put myself out there, and I just began talking about my experiences and kind of what led to it and how I've been coping, reading, meditation, praying. Like you said, I grew up in the church. So praying and finding God for myself, and just different ventures. And so I got a couple of DMs the next day, and they were like, hey, this was really good for me. You were so transparent. You were so honest. And I appreciate that. We need more of this. And so I went, got a ring light and got a TV table and got this big black backdrop. And I was like, this is Xavius Corner. And this is where we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to have those necessary conversations. And so it's been truly something to see just grow. I had a conversation with my dad about how he was absent in my life for so many years, and how we rekindled the father and son relationship, and how we both had to heal, and how, I've forgiven him. And we're like the best of friends. He is my father, and he is acknowledged as such. And, I honor him and his role in my life as my father, and how, people too can come to that place. I've had conversations with my boss, Mr. Willie Watkins, and how he grew up and how he came to become what I deem as Black America's funeral director. And so it's been something. I've talked to business owners. I've talked to teachers about their anxiety and they're going into the classroom. And so I'm really excited about season 4. It's coming up soon in our little short year, but we'll be talking to some really great people. I've got a brother who turned his life around, who was strung out on drugs, was arrested for drugs, and now he has a beautiful home, drives a wonderful car, has a great job, and he goes back and he tells his story to help other brothers. And so, my life's work is to help people. I'm a lover of people. And that's what I've come to do in this world, is to show a greater love. And so if I can help anybody along the way, we're going to do that through any means necessary. So check out Xavius Corner. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Xavius Corner. We'd love to have you join us in our search to bring transparency and truth to all of mankind.
See, Zay just keep trying to take me to church. You just keep trying to take me to church. It just comes to me, and I'm gonna say it, that the word says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And I think that is awesome, that you can share with people, because like you said, this pandemic has taken a toll on everybody. You may have had some issues before, or maybe you didn't have any issues, but we all going through something. And to be able to help somebody through it, what you've been through and are going through, because we at some point in time, we all go through something. Either you just came out of something, you're going through something, or you about to go into something. So I think that's awesome. So like he said, y'all go follow Xavius Corner, because I think it sounds like it's really life-saving.
Yeah, it seems like
that's a blessing.
It is. It's definitely a blessing, and also how you can rekindle relationships.
Yeah,
how you can fix relationships and rekindle relationships. I think when you look at in the last year how lives have changed and how people have been gone here today and they were gone tomorrow. And you're still holding on to something. It has to be an opportunity to fix and try to mend and try to bring things together and show love and peace towards one another and each other. So I think that's great for you. Before we let you go, all right, before we let you go, she's changing up on my sheet.
Okay.
But we got right off the top of the dome. We give one word answers, 5-6 questions, and you give me the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna change. I changed it up, and I'm gonna save one for last, but because she just wrote it down. But we can go here first. All right. All right.
That's all right. That's all right.
Here we go. Fried chicken or ribs?
Ribs.
Oh yeah.
Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
LeBron or Kobe?
LeBron.
Words of affirmation or physical touch?
Oh, that's hard. Words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm. Lakers or the Nets?
Lakers.
All right. I'm gonna let her ask this one.
Why you do that? Because he had it a different way. I said we churchy. This a churchy interview we doing. So I'm gonna still ask the one he had too, but I like the one I had. So he had DMX or Snoop.
Snoop.
Okay, and so what I said was Clark sisters or Pace sisters.
Clark. Can I get this?
All day.
See, you should have asked. You would ask him. We got a man on, so right now Clark sisters and Pace sisters. But you should have asked him.
The Winans versus what?
Nope. Hezekiah Walker or John P. Key?
Oh,
John P. Key.
All day, John P.
That's what you should have asked.
But I was thinking about groups. Groups.
John P. Key. I'll have my mention now. Oh, yeah, John P. John P. Key. Yes.
Yeah.
I love Bishop Hezekiah. My cousins, they played for him, in New York. But John P. Key, that's that down home country right there.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. I think the funniest thing I ever heard, well, not funny, but the funniest thing that I ever heard John P. Key say, the only song that for sure that he knows from top to bottom, Jesus is real. He said I might slip up on some other ones, but he said Jesus is real. That one I know. I'm always gonna get that one right.
Got to. Jesus is real. My last year as the youth pastor for my organization, We did a conference, and I said, I don't care what y'all sing for the rest of the conference. Y'all better find a way to get Jesus a Real in there. Just
I know that's right.
Make it work. Find a way to make it.
Find to make it happen. Hey, Zay, we really enjoyed the interview, man. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your energy. We appreciate you just coming out here and sharing a little bit about yourself, and we can learn a little bit more about you. We really enjoyed Unmatchables. We thank you. Hope that you found or will find that person that you are matched to later on in life or even now. But we just thank you for being here, man. I think it was great. I think we saw and you learned a lot on TV. Before we let you go, for those who are Team Zay out there, what do you have to say to them?
Thank you all so much for your support, first and foremost, and thank you for having me. I would just encourage you to be you. There are a lot of people out here that are searching for something real. The realest thing in this world is you. Don't let your mind and your heart be deterred by what other people think about you. You are the only person who knows about you, and so be you. And whatever you do, always show a greater love. Show the world a greater love.
Awesome. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. And also, give people where they can find your podcast and where they can follow you.
Absolutely. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at Xavius Corner. You can search for the podcast on YouTube at Xavius Corner. And then, of course, we got to stick with Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook at Xavius Robinson, Zave Robinson. I'd love to chat with you. And I'd love for you to tune in. So thank you all so much again for having me.
No problem. Thank you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss, again, any of our interviews or our reviews. Once again, Zay, thank you very much. And we'll talk to you guys a little bit later.
Y'all have a good night.
Bye.